Get up that early, even when you're on the main card that late? Why so early?
Because I got kids, man. They wake me up all the time.
Even
That's the schedule that hasn't been broken.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is.
So when you're on the road, you because I've heard of some guys that won't stay in the room with the kids. They want to get their sleep, but you kind of treat it like it's every other day.
Yeah.
He's probably on that cycle.
What makes any day different than even if I'm going to battle? It's my birthday. It's a new holiday. Somebody died in the family. No matter what, you have to live life as if it's always going to be an exciting day. It's a brand new start, and you start it over, and you just keep on pushing forward.
So that's kind of how you deal with maybe the fight, is you look at it like it's any other day, because you don't want to get into all these special weird rituals which might mess you up.
Well, not just that. I don't want to have to put in to believe in any hype. Like, oh man, I got to go out there and go do this. I have this. I can win this fight and get the next thing, and then keep on looking to the future, and looking further and further ahead of what the real task at hand is. The real task I have is Eddie Wineland, like that opponent that is standing in front of me. Or even making the trip to the bathroom and not stepping on any toys or anything that I left in the room.
How old are your kids, buddy?
5-year-old and 1 and 7/12.
Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah, that no wonder why you're getting up early.
Yeah, that's not conducive to good sleep.
So it's awesome, though, isn't it, pal?
Oh, yeah. Like my 5-year-old, he sits there and tries not to get in trouble, but he says everything. And he likes to try to pretend he's super hard and super gangster.
That's awesome.
But he doesn't know what gangster means, though. He goes, yeah, I'm just being gangster. I was like, what does it mean? I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds
my daughter's just a terrorist. Yeah, that's exactly what he says. I was like, yeah, I don't know what it is, but that's what everyone says you are. And I was like, I'm not a thug. Don't say that.
Oh, people that say you're gangster. Well, he associates at least with a good thing, which is you being tough and fighting. Were you raised in Albuquerque? Where are you from?
Yeah, I'm born and raised in Albuquerque, Mass.
And I know, was it Greg Jackson recruited you to fight in, 2002?
Yes. They found me at a Chuck E. Cheese.
They saw him at a Chuck E. Cheese.
Are you kidding? Or are you serious? They found you at a Chuck E. Cheese? What were you doing?
I was a birthday host for Crystal Cho's son's birthday party. And I was, entertaining the crowd, and I saw a bunch of cops standing at my table. And I was like, yeah, yeah. And they're all, whispering to each other and giving me that look like, oh, I know this kid. He did something wrong. And I was like, oh, crap. There's so many cops here. This must be a sting. I must have done something wrong. And they're like, you're John Dodson. And I was like, no, I didn't do it. That was my first reaction.
So wait, who was it? Greg Jackson?
Crystal Cho, one of Greg Jackson's first black belts.
It was his kid's birthday party.
Oh, I was going to say, man, if he came up to you at a Chuck E. Cheese, they probably thought he was a fucking creep.
Yeah.
You're a little guy. He probably came up to you. Hey, you want some tickets?
Want some tickets? No, they're like, hey, do you want some candy?
Want some candy? Come here. Oh, that's great.
So wait, all these cops are looking at you, and then what happens?
They just knew who I was from, pretty much my athletic career.
You're wrestling?
They're like, hey, wrestling, football, and track. I was, one of the best athletes in the state.
What position did you play in football?
I was a fullback and a nose guard.
And what
and
got you?
Strong safety.
Oh, sorry, buddy. What got you out of that? Was it that you enjoyed wrestling more? You enjoyed fighting more, or was it the? Did you have an injury?
No, I just didn't want to go to college playing any sports. What I wanted to really do was design software and be a computer engineer. I wanted to build video games.
Oh, you wanted to build video games?
Yeah, of course. I want to write the codes and everything on it.
You got to be careful of that, though, because what was his name? Lost all of his money. Kurt Schilling put $50 million into that video. What was the video game? I'm sure you remembered. He put it into $50 million into a video game. He thought was going to be $1 billion enterprise, and it cost him everything. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Nuh-uh.
Me neither.
All right, sorry, I didn't mean to just wreck the entire show. But
I was like, geez.
Well, you know who he is. He was a pitcher for the Red Sox, and he pitched with the bloody sock when he beat the Yankees. I mean, he's a very tremendous pitcher.
What game this is, and if it's a shitty game.
It wasn't a great game. Can we just find out Kurt Schilling game?
And how do you? What do you mean he put into the game?
Put years of money into it and research. And now, John, did you have a game in mind that you were working on?
No, I was just sitting there, just wanted to develop them at the time. Video games was not a very inspiring career, and I was like, I'm gonna be one of the fighters for it, trying to do it. I wanted to code, write software, and just be a part of it. And then they told me that my talent was gonna be wasted being a nerd.
Now, do you enjoy games yourself, man? You play a lot, or what's your system of choice? Your council of choice.
Right now, I'm on Paragon. It's on PlayStation 4. I play a lot of MLBAs, multiple online battle arenas.
Oh,
League Legends,
I don't know what that is.
that.
Now, what is that? You're playing against other people?
Yeah, it's 5-on-5. You have to destroy some towers and then get into the inhibitor and then destroy a cord. But you have all these different melee characters or range characters. some assassin.
Oh, is that one of those like PC games, like the EverQuest type of thing, or?
No, it's like more of like League of Legends.
Oh man,
or Smite.
See, I'm so lost with all that. I am just a first-person shooter guy. Like I was just telling Jimmy, like my whole family is my wife and my kids are out of town for a little bit, so I've been home alone. So I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty, some old school Halo. I don't know if you play Halo, but I love that's. You know, because you go on, you jump on there, and then you go online, you shoot a lot of people, and you jump out. It's not like you have a big quest. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I just got no time for that.
Yeah, see, like, that's all the time that you need to go on there, shoot a few people for about 10 minutes, and then you're done.
That's it. It's like you get that little rush in there. It's fun as hell. I feel like playing now.
I'm more of a Battlefield person.
A what now?
A Battlefield?
Oh, Battlefield. I never got into that. I know you could use the tanks and stuff. Is that it felt to me like a poor man's Call of Duty. Is it as fun as the Call of Duty? Because I know you get to use like tanks and stuff like that. See,
I like the Battlefield now because of the fact that it's just you being able to be a marksman and be able to shoot. And if you kill them, you kill them. Instead of them being the new Call of Duty where you're shooting at them and all of a sudden they actually teleported and air jetted across the whole map. And you're like, what the hell? Why are you just disappearing every time I'm shooting you right now?
Yeah,
like, well, I have this app and this and that.
I'm enjoying that jetpack thing. But wait, hold on. Give me a game that what should I get? You said the Battlefront or Battlefield? What is it?
Yeah, Battlefield 1.
Battlefield 1. All right, I'm an Xbox guy, but I'm gonna get that.
See?
Yeah, I like a new first-person shooter.
I stopped playing video games so many years ago. Not for any reasons. I only played in the arcades. I never played really at home.
So the last one you played was like Frogger?
No, I was an Asteroids guy.
No.
I was an Asteroids guy in the early
Pong,
80s.
Pong.
You don't like Centipede? That was like my jam back in the day.
Centipede. Boo, doo, doo. That stupid sound it would make when it was fell. Yes, I played a lot of Centipede when I was a kid. But did you play in the arcades, or you're not old enough to remember the Centipede in the arcades?
See, I'm so glad that I'm too young to remember that. Thank you.
Yeah, I wasn't sure when the arcades were. I mean, I'm 48, so I don't know when the arcades. When I was a kid, John, I got in the newspaper. It was my first piece of press. It was 1981 Super Bowl Sunday. The 49ers were playing the Bengals, and I played on one quarter for 10 hours.
That's amazing.
On Asteroids,
Really?
and they put my picture in the newspaper, the local newspaper.
I guess you didn't have bladder problems back then.
Oh boy, did I had to run and piss. I lost like 18 ships.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, you had to piss in 10 hours. 10 hours on one quarter.
Oh my God.
I know. Wish I had the same luck with escorts.
Right. That's good.
So, but back then the arcade games went away a few years later because home video gaming and Atari and all that stuff fucked them up. Yeah. So I wasn't sure. So what happened?
I used to play Tekken and Street Fighter in our arcades all the time.
Yeah,
really?
I remember that.
Once in a while, you'll still see an arcade. You'll walk by in a mall, but there's like 8 games in it.
Yeah.
It's not
or
like
a
it used
hotel
to be.
or something, or a bowling alley.
So you're in a Chuck E. Cheese. They see you there. Chris Luttrell sees you, and then what does he see? You have a good personality. They recognize you. What encourages him to approach you and say, "Hey, we'd like you to come and train over at Jackson Wink"?
Because I had a good wrestling background, and they knew what I've done, like I've accomplished throughout pretty much my wrestling career. They're like, "Hey, do you want to go ahead and pursue something other than like education? Because school is a foundation that will always stay there in time, but your talent will dissipate throughout the years." I was like, I'll give it a shot. Like, I'm not doing anything else. Let's try to see if I can have fun doing this too. So
you went over there, and now you had a wrestling background, but did you have any like inclination to do mixed martial arts, or did they have to talk you into it, or what happened when you first got there?
When I first got there, they were like, "Hey, we're wrestling." I was like, "Cool." So the first dude that shot in on me, I did a front flip over, and then another dude grabbed my ankle, and I did a backflip out of it. So they're like, "Oh, I love this dude." And then like, "Hey, everybody, we're starting on the ground now." And I was like, "What the hell does that mean?" Starting on the ground. We started grappling, and that's when it all went downhill. I got like ankle locked, knee bar, choked, arm part. I got hit with every submission in the book that you see every like muscle-bound idiot that walks into a jiu-jitsu gym and thinks that they're the toughest dude in the room. That's what I got hit with.
Now, have you seen that a lot? Have you seen that a lot where big guys will come in and think that they're going to show everybody how to fight, and they get tapped immediately? Yeah,
Greg used to send me in as like deciding factor if they were bored enough to train. They'd send in the big dudes in, and then they'll send me out. Like, all right, if you can get past him, you can come and train with us. I used to be like the mini bouncer before.
You were the fucking gym bouncer. So now, did any of them get past you, or did most of them get tapped out?
Well, a lot of them got tapped out. A lot of them got dropped with body shots, to tell the truth. Because they all wanted to say they were the baddest street fighters on the planet. So they're like, go with him. I was like, can I hit him in the face? They're like, no, body only. It's like, okay. So I just punch him and carry him in the body, and everybody falls.
It's amazing to me that anybody would walk into an MMA gym without humility. Like, to think, if you're a boxer or whatever, you want to do a little boxing, but to walk in there and think that you're going to show anybody who's in a fighting gym. Like, people really are just delusional.
But see, when I started training, there wasn't that, mixed martial arts wasn't like a big thing yet. It was still like the underground circuit, it was still legal in most states.
Okay.
And everybody was just like, yeah, I'm like the toughest dude in my block. I'm the toughest dude in the street. I'm the toughest dude of wherever they were from. And we're like, all right, well, let's see how good you are.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And just like that.
15 years ago, it wasn't quite what it is now. What does he think it is that makes Greg Jackson such a great coach? I mean, what does he have that you think makes him as effective as he is?
He has that one characteristic that makes you believe in anything that he says and makes you want to go achieve it. Like, if you're a wild, crazy, creative person that you want to go out there and try, well, he lets me try all my triple knees and double knees, double flying side kick into a knee, and he believes I can actually land it. With his belief, I know I can go ahead and do it. Like, he's giving me that power. Like, oh, hell yeah, I can actually do this. Thank you, Professor X. I'm actually going to be able to go out there and do anything that you tell me I can do. What you say, I can fly? Yeah, I can do that too.
You remind me of one of the X-Men when you jump over, when you do that little flip on the, he runs to the cage. You ever see him run to the cage and jumps right? It does what is it? You do a little backflip.
A wall flip, yeah.
A wall flip.
I got some new tricks to hopefully bust out this weekend.
Dude, it's awesome, man. He does like a little Mary Lou Retton. It's awesome. I showed my age with that, Mary Lou.
That's all right. Yeah, at least you didn't say Nadia Comaneci. I'm fucking older. And do you have any update on John Jones, your teammate? How is he doing?
He's doing all right. He's been training. He's been working hard. He's been steadily coming back to the gym. He's been working with Greg a lot. He's been working with Wink and Brandon, and having both of them have the creative minds help their strike game become better. He doesn't want to feel like he's out of the loop, out of the game, and he wants to be a new man. Like John Jones is here to stay, and he wants to make sure that Daniel Cormier knows that he has an actual fight whenever John Jones comes back.
Well, are you a believer, John, in ring rust at all? Or, we hear that term a lot, and some guys discount it. But I think, like anything else, there's no way it can't affect you when you don't fight for a year. It has to affect you on some level. What's the longest time you've taken off in your MMA career without actually a fight?
The longest?
Yeah.
2 years.
And what was that due to?
No one saying yes.
Oh, no one's saying yes? Oh, you weren't hurt?
No. I was hurt one time, and that was after I fought John Moraga in June, 3 years ago. And then I had to fight DJ right after, 1 year later, or Zach McCosty 1 year later. But that was pretty much the only, layoff I had from an injury. Other than that, the longest layoff was 2 years because no one wanted to say yes. Everyone kept on saying no. And I wanted to fight from 125 to 155. And I still couldn't find an opponent.
How are you feeling now at the weight you're at? How are you feeling at bantamweight?
Good. It's still a little cut, but I'm okay. I can make the weight, and I feel just as strong and way faster than everybody here. So
it's something that you think you're going to stay there? You don't see yourself going back down?
I can see myself going back down. I can see myself going up, too.
Oh, you're thinking about possibly going up?
Of course.
Well, he took out T.J. Dillashaw.
Yes, he did. I was going to ask you about that. And he's fighting Cody, at bantamweight. How do you feel about that? Is that hard after beating him to see him fight for the title?
Nah, I'm actually excited. I think TJ has done so much since me and him fought on the Ultimate Fighter finale that he's grown as pretty much as a mixed martial artist. His striking's got crisper. I haven't seen his real jiu-jitsu ability, but he's been taking people down. Look at what he did to Lineker. He picked him apart, and he knew that taking him down was going to be the actual key to victory. I mean, I wish I wouldn't have thought of that. Instead, I tried to bang with the dude all 5 rounds.
Yeah, you still had a good fight, and you had a close fight with Lineker. I wish I would have thought of that. It's funny. Let me ask you, just out of curiosity, how do you think you would match up with him now? I know you got your task ahead of you, but just for shits and giggles, how do you think you match up with him now with his new improvements, T.J. Dillashaw?
I'd be interesting. I think if the fight lasts a little bit longer, but the outcome would be the same.
Damn! Right. Sorry,
Still
Jimmy.
think on that guarantee KO victory.
What do you think about TJ Cody Garbrandt? Do you have any? How do you think TJ beats a guy like that?
If TJ really wants to beat Cody, he's gonna have to take out his whole ego and pride and just make sure he can go in there and fight. Like Cody did something phenomenal that nobody else has ever thought of. They got Dominic's head and made him look silly, and that ruined his confidence. That took away from all his natural ability of being so elusive and being such a good counter striker. And Cody was just out there doing the same thing to him and manipulated his game and turned it into his own by mocking him. No, you've never seen anyone do that to Dominic, because Dominic does that to everyone.
That's a great point. And do you think also because Cody meant it? Like, you can pretend to be a certain way, but with Cody, he really meant it, and maybe Dominic could sense it, and that might have gotten in his head. And then taunting him in the ring a little bit. When you're a guy as feared as Dominic Cruz and you see a guy kind of taunting you, even if it's premature, that still does bother you on some level.
Oh, of course. And he executed the perfect game plan. His wasn't to sit there and beat him physically. His was to beat him mentally, to beat him physically.
Well, TJ reminds me of Dom, the way he fights a little bit, and it doesn't. I don't see him as being a guy who's very easy to intimidate. I don't see TJ as a guy whose head is very easy to get into.
Yeah, I do. TJ is an easy mental case. Like, he's one of those guys who are quickly to want to jump the gun and shoot. He's that person to shoot first and ask questions later. Like, he rides on whatever emotion that he's on that right now. So if he's on anger is going to be the only thing he sees, and technique will be out the window. It'll be like on the back burner. That game plan that they all formulated would just disappear immediately.
Oh, so I'm incorrect about that. Okay, so you're saying that a guy like Cody might be able to get to him because he may be able to tap into that and get him to not fight his fight.
Yeah, 100%.
How do you combat that? You know, I asked, I think, was it Eddie Wineland I asked, or Cub Swanson, one of those guys, about is there anybody that's ever gotten into your head? Now, no fighter ever wants to admit that, but at times it has to be irritating, a guy shit-talking you, or there's got to be somebody did that bothered you on some level.
The only person that really bothered me was Demetrious Johnson. Like, he's just, like, he don't want to, it doesn't sound like he wants to fight, and it doesn't sound like he has an own original thought. Everything seems like it's been predetermined by his coaches for him to say. And I don't trust anything he can possibly think as a person. Like, if it's not a bad thing to say, like, he's a perfect, like, warrior. You give him any command, he'll do it. You give him any actions, he'll do it. You tell him what to believe, and he believes it.
So basically, you respect him as a fighter, but the personality or the person, you think he's not really giving you much of himself. He's just kind of repeating what he's been told.
Yeah. I know that he can, like, follow orders really well.
Do you think it's funny because somebody else mentioned him, and again, it might have been Eddie on Twitter, who mentioned the fact that he's such a great fighter and he's so dominant and he's not technically the draw that a lot of fighters are. Do you think that's part of it? Like, there has to be, like, you know, look at Conor McGregor. Okay, great, charismatic guy, fun guy to watch, good fighter, but he hasn't won, you know, he hasn't done what Demetrious Johnson has done. He hasn't dominated the way Demetrious Johnson has, and yet he's a much bigger draw. Like, what do you attribute that to? Just
being able to hold a conversation.
Dodson, you are a funny dude. I love it. You're hysterical, man. I keep talking. Go ahead. Hey, listen, you're opinionated. I like when you're just very truthful.
Yeah, that is nice.
And I listen, not to attack the champ, Demetrious, because he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
But he's like, just to have a conversation. I think that's hysterical. Hey, let me ask you, John. I always make the point where a lot of the best fighters, they're enjoying themselves in there. You can, I mean, even when I see you backstage, but even in the cage, I never see you not smiling, even during the fight. I mean, how much are you enjoying it in there? And it doesn't look like the nerves get to you at all. Is it another day of sparring in there for you?
That's just another day. Like, I'm enjoying that moment.
Yeah.
Like, every time I'm in the octagon, it's just like having fun.
Yeah, I can see
it's
that.
Not because I'm about ready to beat up somebody or they're going to beat me up. Yeah. It's because it's like the last time I actually get to enjoy that peace, that harmony, that tranquility of knowing that I could actually die this second.
Yeah.
I mean, no one ever really thinks about it. They're like, oh, man, I'm going to die in the future. I got this whole long road ahead of me. No, man, I could die right now by some freak accident. Like, all of a sudden, one of the cables on the top Jumbotron or when the light cable came down and swung and just took me out, like final destination status, and just ended my whole life and career. And that's going to be the last moment. I just took one punch because I thought I was enjoying something differently, and I saw like flashes of joy, and I got punched in the face, and I'm like, oh, devastation, what's going on? Beautiful destruction. Oh yeah, I'm definitely not getting it right now. Sorry. I've been moving around this whole time.
Yeah, your phone's cutting out a little bit, but I figured that you're just hyped up.
He's hyped up. He's running around. He's doing the. He's running up the walls like he does in the cage.
Well, good luck, man. Fighting on Saturday.